What is up, my people? What is up, my people? This is your boy Bernard Scott, so ANIV Crane himself. What is going on with you guys? I am just doing a quick pop-up podcast. I'm just checking on you guys. My homie Marzell, he had planned to do a podcast today, but unfortunately he was not able to make it. He was okay, that's just what's her name? Let me know that. Hold on, wait a minute, 1 minute. Let me turn this volume down because it's gonna get annoying. All right, let me make sure I'm on live on YouTube. Am I on Facebook? Yep. So I'm just checking in with you guys. Just seeing how you guys are doing. There is a lot of stuff that I have seen on my page with a lot of you guys, good and bad. Excuse me. If you need to get something off your chest today, now is the time to do so. While I'm waiting on anybody to join in, let me go ahead and do the intro, and then I will talk with you guys after the intro. Where's the intro at? Here we go.
Calling all heroes, crank it up, let's go. Crane style forever, lights up every show.
Y'all doggone right, Crane style forever. You better believe it. Once again, everybody, this your boy Bernard Scott, Sir ANIV Krane himself. I did not have a scheduled podcast today. However, my homie Marzell, he does the other podcast. If you want to get in on his podcast, here's his email address. He does, where is his podcast at? He is scheduled today to do the Nothing Serious podcast. However, he's being the best at he can. School is starting tomorrow, so he will not be able to do his podcast. But I thought that I would take this time because I already set up my camera. I had already set up my everything. So I thought I'd just do a little podcast. Like I said, I've seen a lot of you guys' posts, some good stuff, some bad stuff. I mean, there's tons of stuff going on right now. So this is kind of freestyle. Usually on my podcast, I usually do fun stuff. But if you guys want to talk about something controversial today, that's fine. I'll probably just, because this is a pop-up podcast, I will just speak about certain things that I have seen on my page. I know one of the biggest things is that I don't know. Everybody keeps talking about the vaccine or something and be like, hey, I didn't take the vaccine and we're going to congratulate and, we're congratulating all those who didn't take the vaccine or something like that, the COVID vaccine. So, I mean, has anybody ever died from taking the COVID vaccine? I don't understand what people, I don't know. I'm honestly asking, okay? So if you're celebrating not taking the vaccine and still survived, I mean, what are you celebrating? I mean, I don't understand how it's bad if they took it. So, I know that they did bring it out really quickly. You know what I'm saying? But because of the urgency of the matter, they had to do it that way. That's if you want to talk about something controversial. There's some other stuff that people have been talking about. I mean, we could talk about what we're supposed to talk about on this podcast. It's stuff that have to do with movies, TV shows, and especially 80s and 90s nostalgia. Love it, love it, love it, love it. 80s and 90s nostalgia. Anything that y'all can bring back up from the 80s and 90s, please bring it up. Excuse me. Probably won't have too many people to jump on. Like I said, Marzel was supposed to have his podcast, and I was like, I didn't set up everything. I might as well get on here and see how everybody's doing. What is going on with everybody? I got the comments right here if you guys want to join in. Nothing much. Do you guys have any topics you guys want to talk about? Last time we talked about AI and whether, you know, you consider those people who use AI, are they actually creators or something like that? That's a controversial topic too. But I'd like to talk about something fun. I mean, it can still be controversial, but it can still be fun. Like we talk about that Mandela effect thing. You know what I'm saying? Whether the Monopoly man had a monocle, which is that little round piece of eyeglass and it has a little string to it. Did he have it or not? What's going on, Brian? What is going on? What is going on? We are just taking any and all topics today. Okay, that's Lamar. Yeah, it is back to school time, guys. That's a good little subject that we can talk about. Something happy. Back to school time. How many of y'all got kids coming back to school? Has the list for back to school supplies increased? Do you agree with that back to school list that teachers have? Do you believe that teachers get paid enough? How has back to school changed from the 80s and 90s to now? Okay, so I guess that's one subject, but we could talk about whatever you guys want to. But I'm just throwing out some subjects here of what we can talk about. Yeah, that'd be a good little thing. Back to school. Yeah. Y'all might have college age children, or you just want to talk about how it was back in the 80s and 90s when we went to back to school. I remember that was one of the main times when we can get brand new clothing. Excuse me. You know, we get the name brand shoes. Of course, you know, my mom and my dad did the best I can. You know, I'd still get new shoes when it was time for back to school, but most of the time it'd be brands like Pro Wings or, you know, y'all remember them Pro Wing shoes? You remember they used to get dirty and your mom and dad would throw them in the washing machine and the front part of it would go up like this? Y'all remember them shoes? Oh my God. But we used to be sharp. That's what we used to call it back in the day. You know, you get some brand new, used to get some brand new back to school clothes. We sharp. Y'all remember that? The term sharp. I remember, and I have one of those here, the Trapper Keeper. How many of y'all remember the Trapper Keeper? I want to actually get a picture of it, but I'm sure that I don't want to take up any time for any of those who are watching. I want to keep on talking to keep you guys interested. But how many of y'all remember the Trapper Keeper? I think, do you remember the sounds like, y'all remember that? Used to have the little dividers. It used to have like a ruler in the inside of it. Little chart where you can get the measurements. It's like a interpretation of the measurements of like feet to inches or ounces to gallons or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That was in that back to school list. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and then it was fun when you go to, wasn't orientation, but you know, you try to get with your friends and see what list, what classes you got with your friends and try to switch it up or whatever, you know, seeing what classes the people assigned you up for and stuff like that. If my homie Lamar gets on here, I already know. I know 1,000%. If we talk about back to school, he gonna talk about the football games when we went back to school. I guarantee dollars to donuts. He gonna talk about them Clarksdale High games, Clarksdale High versus Aggie, I think it was, and you know what I'm saying, the county. Oh man, that was good times. Good time. Crumpton Field, Clarksdale, Mississippi. But if you're not from there, we could talk about back to school and football games. I remember Crumpton Field, you had a little money if you went there and you bought some snacks at the concession stand. If you got popcorn, a hot dog, and a pop, you'd be like, ooh, you must be getting some good allowance money. You know, you got all three items, you know. Oh man. And then sometimes I didn't even care about the football game. So the only game that I cared about was Clarkston High. And was it Clarkston High and Aggie? I don't know. Which what was the big Clarkston High and the county? What was the big football game in Clarksdale? I forgot what it was. But yeah, it was the best time for back to school. And you used to know when it was time to get ready for back to school because you go to that one store. What was that? Walmart. And Walmart I always know what's the next holiday because Walmart always has the stuff out there for each holiday, the next holiday. So the back to school stuff is there. If you go, once the back to school stuff is done, then you'll see the Halloween stuff, which is what I'm kind of sort of looking forward to. You know, to be honest, I only like Halloween because it's the only day when a nerd like me can dress up in superhero costumes and ain't nobody gonna say nothing. You know, and it's nostalgic too. Um, yeah, Halloween was great. It was great. You know, they always had the okay, Brian said CHS Clarkston High School versus Panola County, South Panola. Okay, that was it. Okay, that was a football game. I thought it was another one too. South Panola was a big one when we used to go against them. Yep. But was it God dog it, the other high school? I don't know. And then they had Oakhurst versus Higgins. Was it? I'm trying to bring this back. And I remember, the football games when Clarkston High used to give us these little banners, and they were really, you know, that was sharp for the 80s and 90s, and they were like, yeah, Wildcats beat the Panthers or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I think Lamar put one of those on there, man. I used to love to get those things. Yeah, I used to go to football games just to get out the house, say I had a social life. Also to talk to whatever girls I could get there, you know, just flirting, you know. And my God, the mosquitoes, that's another thing. I hate to bring up the negative memories, but it's still a memory. So, yeah, the Clarkston High, Crumpton Field had mosquitoes galore. By the way, if you're not from Mississippi, that's our state bird is the mosquito, okay? Just to let y'all know that, okay? Our tree is the magnolia, and our state bird is the mosquito. Okay. Now that we got that straight, y'all got y'all biological facts together. Good. And yeah, what else back to school memory I had? Football games, yeah, homecoming. Homecoming was always something special. I didn't do much trick or treating because my mom, you know, she thought it was associated with like devil worshiping and stuff like that. So I kind of had to, sneak and do it, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So, but still good memories. And y'all remember the rumors they had about the candy? I'm not saying it's true or wasn't true. They said the candy had razor blades in them or something at first, so you had to inspect them. Then they said it had drugs in it. And I was like, that made more teenagers want to trick or treat, to be honest with you. Like free drugs, free cocaine, free weed, or what, I don't know what they thought was in the candy. But yes, I always threatened. I was talking about there was drugs in the candy. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie. You know, no, my mom and father are no longer here, so they can't give me a whooping for this. But you know, used to be a time when, you know, I used to go trick or treating, and we used to, you know, I always get, you know, since it's a congregation of young folks, we used to sneak off and drink us a little liquor that we weren't supposed to, you know. And bruh, we used to drink that cheap stuff because none of us had any money. So we used to give some money to a wino, and they go in the liquor store. You already know what brand of liquor they get us, that cheap wine. What's the name of it? Let's say it all together. Mad Dog 2020. Oh my God, Mad Dog 2020. That stuff was like $2 for a bathtub for a fifth. How many of y'all remember Mad Dog 2020? That stuff, I think I drank some of that recently just as nostalgic. It was for New Year's. That stuff gave me the worst acid reflux. I'm late 40s, that's all I'm gonna say. And I drank that stuff, and my God, that Mad Dog gave me the worst acid reflux. Oh, what was y'all favorite flavor? Don't act like I was the only one that drunk it. That and Thunderbird. Now, for those of you who grew up in the 70s, y'all drank Ripple, okay? Don't act like, yeah, especially when Sanford and Son, Fred Sanford, made it popular. Don't act like y'all ain't drink Ripple. And for the 80s and 90s, don't act like y'all ain't drink Mad Dog 2020 and Thunderbird. Come on now. Come on now. Y'all know y'all drink that Mad Dog. What else y'all used to drink? Oh, for the females, they would sneak away and drink that, what they call it, that Boone's Farm. Y'all remember that Boone's Farm? They still sell Boone's Farm? I don't know. You tell me. So, what else did they slip away and drink? Of course, if somebody daddy had some beers in there, they sneak away some beers, you know. What the kind my daddy used to drink? It wasn't Budweiser. What he used to drink? Oh, he used to drink that malt liquor. My dad used to drink the name of it. Coke 45, I believe it was my daddy drink. One of my sisters on here, y'all need to tell me. What daddy used to drink? Coke 45? Yeah. Yep, sure was. I believe it was. And one time they were trying out them Zimas, my mom and my dad. Them Zimas wasn't bad. I think they came out in the late 90s. Y'all like them Zimas? Y'all remember them Zimas? Yeah, they was cool. They was cool. What else? What else? Yeah. When I'm talking about juvenile delinquent stuff we used to do. Just how I got on that, for those of you who just tuned in, we're talking about Halloween and we're talking about back to school stuff right now, because I just really wanted to check in with you guys. We could talk about whatever y'all want to. The link is in the description below, should be. So if y'all want to talk about stuff. Also, on a serious note, I didn't know the individual, but one of our Clarksdale own has passed away. My homie, Dwayne Sutton, that was his nephew. I didn't know the gentleman, but a lot of y'all have been posting on Facebook that the individual passed away. I don't know how he passed away. I didn't know the gentleman. I think they said he graduated in the class of 2001. So my condolences goes out to that entire family. If y'all could give me a little details so I can pay my proper respects, because I don't know the individual. Like I said, I've never met him, but he was a nephew of my friend. So terrible, if you want to. And if you guys got some other stuff that's going on, positive or negative, I'm just checking in with you. Y'all my homies, y'all my friends. I just want to talk to y'all. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing? For those of y'all, I'm not making this a local conversation. So for those of y'all who are not in the Mississippi area, I'm just talking about Mississippi because I grew up in it. You know what I'm saying? So, but we can talk about whatever y'all want to. We was talking about back to school. What else? Clothes was the biggest thing for back to school. School supplies. Do they still make the kids buy like the protractors? The protractors. I know I'm saying country. I'm from Mississippi. The protractors. Y'all still buy that? They still ask the kids to buy that? What they ask kids to buy nowadays? Other than notebook, pens, pencils, erasers, calculators, the T60, T100, 1000 Terminator calculator, y'all know what the graphing calculator. That's what they be calling it, the graphing calculator. Y'all remember that, the graphing calculator? And what else? Nowadays, y'all got that chat GPT to be helping y'all. Y'all got cell phones and everything. We didn't have none of that. The most technologically advanced thing we had at school, and that was part of our back to school supplies too, was a Game Boy. Yeah, I remember the Nintendo Game Boy. It was that green and white screen, and that was pretty good. Now, for those of us who were super po, like myself, what do we have to play? on the bus or after school? Say it with me. If you was poor like me, we had that Tiger Electronic video game system, and it was like almost like an electronic board game. I mean, it only had so many frames. Let me see what's got on. Somebody sending me a text. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just my homeboy. Yeah. So, yeah, the Game Boy and the Tiger Electronic. How many of y'all remember that Tiger Electronic game? That was so cheap. That thing was $10. I remember it was $9.99. And I remember I got Street Fighter. There was another one. It was made by Konami. It was one with the Ninja Turtles. It was kind of tall and green, and it had like two circle buttons or something. And that Tiger Electronic thing, that was, I don't know what kind of crackhead made that Tiger Electronic, because each one was different. It wasn't like, with a Game Boy, you got the directional pad and you got B and A button. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. But, with the Tiger Electronic, they had buttons all over the place. One time it had like Castlevania, instead of up, down, left, right on the left side, it would have like whip left or something. I don't know. It was the stupidest thing I never seen in my life. But that was part of the back to school. I remember Clarkside High. We used to get on the bus to the Votech. They still got the Votech over there. No, I don't think so. Was that? God, I'm old. Was that Oakhurst that had the Votech building? Well, who else texted me? I'm getting popular right now. Yeah, let me. Wait. Oh, okay. So, right now we're just talking about back to school. Back to school, back to school. Dad won't think that I'm a fool. Who is that? Y'all know what movie I'm trying to? I know I said the song wrong. Okay. What movie is that I'm singing? Back to school, back to school. Shut up. Who is that? Brownie points. I give you 25 Killer Crane, Crane Style Forever points if you can tell me what movie I'm emulating right now. You know what I'm saying? Tell me. Y'all remember the part of the back to school list too? Get you a bunch of AA batteries so you can play the Tiger Electronic game. And what else? Do we keep in our book bags? The electronic, let's say it all together. Walkman, cassette Walkman. Okay? Y'all remember them things? And then the one came out for the CD player. What is did it call the CD Walkman? I think that's the name of it, the CD player Walkman. It was a CD Walkman. So they had that too. I used to I don't care what people said, the CD one was great because you could skip songs, but I used to like to run all the time and stuff like that. So I would use the Walkman. I used the Walkman forever. You know what I'm saying? And so let me just get this over here. Okay. I used to use the Walkman every freaking way. You know what I'm saying? And it used to run, and it wouldn't skip, it wouldn't do nothing. So I don't understand why, people would use the CD player, but nobody uses any of that because we have the cell phones now, and a lot of times you don't even have to download songs onto your phone because you have streaming. I use Pandora, and it works just great for me. I know some of y'all use iTunes or what have you. I don't know, but I know that technology has changed, so therefore you don't have to worry about that anymore or whatever. Excuse me. And I know that a lot of people are going back to physical media. We can talk about that too. Physical media. How many of y'all are still holding on to your physical media, meaning your vinyl records, your 45s, your long LPs, your cassette tapes, your 8-track tapes? What else is there? Your cassettes, I say your cassettes. There was one, and there was in Japan, and it was like a disc, and you put it inside of your tape player or whatever. Y'all know what that is? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Let me see if there's any comments here on Facebook. Nope. Yeah, the cassette player that you put the disc in. Very popular over there in Japan. I forgot the name. But anyway, okay. What else? So you had to have your Walkman, your headphones, listen to your tunes. Back in the 80s and 90s, you had to have your Game Boy, your Tiger Electronic. I think that's about it. And of course, how many of y'all remember? I remember every time it was back to school, we had a magazine we called eBay. No, it wasn't eBay. What's the name of that magazine? It was the one where you could buy the shoes and the clothes and stuff like that. And it had a lot of sporty clothes in it. You know what I'm saying? What is the name of that doggone thing? You know what? I got it here. I'm trying not to log off. You know what I'm saying? So I can find stuff like that. Let me see if it's in my media access. No. It's not here. I'm gonna have to download some nostalgic pictures for y'all. Let me see if it might be on the podcast. I know we talked about some of this stuff before, but I'm just trying to. Yeah, East Bay. Thank you, Fidelsky. East Bay. I was going to search my booty off trying to find this thing. So it's East Bay. Thank you very much. And I am trying to get further podcasts and guys get on here. Let's see, Mandela Effect. No. Yeah, so let me know, guys. What is your favorite back to school memory? Do y'all remember a certain teacher that y'all were excited to get, or a certain teacher that was a little bit rougher than the other ones? I remember Miss Wilson. She was in Oakhurst Junior High School, I believe. Was she Clarksdale High? Yeah, it was Clarksdale High. I think she taught world history. I don't know why she was the first one that popped in my head. And she used to always talk about, don't chew gum in my class, don't drink water. This is not Wilson's Bar and Grill or something like that. Y'all remember that? I remember that. And that was a substitute teacher. I'm just going through random teachers in my head. That was one named Miss Thompson. She was the sweetest woman. Oh my God. Sweetest substitute teacher. And she used to always start, she was real dog skinned, rather old, of course. And she used to come in there and she used to brighten everybody's day because she'd be like, hey, everybody took a bath today. I took a bath today. I took me a good scrubbing. And I used to laugh at her. And it wasn't making fun of her or nothing. It was adorable the way she was expressing that. You know what I'm saying? So, So what back to school memories do y'all have? Teachers, everything. And like I said, we can be good stuff we can talk about, terrible stuff, like I said, I'm trying to piece together. I probably don't know the gentleman. Like I said, the passed away in Clarksdale, So want to give a shout out to him and his family, condolences and stuff like that. If y'all want to share memories of him, let me see. Okay. That was my children about their food. Yeah. I'm not cooking tonight. I cashed up them some money and said, look here, y'all get what y'all want to. I ain't cooking not a thing tonight, And so, yeah. So, back to school meals. Let's just say you come home from school, you get off the bus. For those of you who got off the bus, and you threw your book bag down, you're making your after school snack. What are you making? I want to know what you're making. For me, my favorite back to school snack was, let me see if anybody answered. My favorite back to school snack, it was a struggle meal. So get ready. Y'all know which one I'm talking about. Let's all say it together. We had to move the red ring around the circle. Go on, everybody say it with me. Fried bologna sandwich. How many of y'all don't act like I ain't the only one that made a fried bologna sandwich? And you had to cut the slits on it because it had the bubble in the middle. Y'all remember that? The little bubble fried bologna sandwich. Y'all remember that? Put it on the bread. We ain't had like Wonder Bread. That's all y'all rich folks with all y'all Wonder Bread and all that good bread. I had that old cheap bread, that Walmart bread. It was a great value or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then we used to put my fried bologna on there, a little mustard, maybe a little mayonnaise. If I'm feeling a little fancy, put a little mayonnaise right there, in the jar. We didn't have all that fancy squirt stuff back then. We had that jar. You open the jar lid, and I can still hear the sound of the knife going around there, getting the mayonnaise and putting it up there. Love the red hot dogs. That was Fidelski said. Ooh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Them red hot dogs was on hidden. Ooh, wee. I remember there was a dude in Clarksdale. Don't mean to make this local again. Right there at the railroad track over there on 4th Street. I think it was 4th Street. And he used to say, my hot link's so good, they'll bite your fingers off. And that's the warning he used to give. Y'all remember him? I don't what was his name? Ooh, them was a good Polish sausages. Also, the Blues Festival, good Polish sausages. But yeah, them red hot dogs after school, shut your mouth. I be John Brown. Yes, them hot dogs was hidden with some old potato chips. And, sometimes, them potato chips sit out long, they get stale. You put them in the oven. Or me, because I'm a weirdo, and my mom used to buy them plain potato chips, I used to put a little hot sauce on the potato chips and eat them like that. Like, take a potato chip, put some hot sauce on it, eat it like that. I haven't done that in a while, but y'all remember that? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Don't act like I was the only one. Don't act like I was the only one putting ketchup on the eggs. What you know about that? I used to, back to school breakfast was always just a bowl of cereal. Sometimes my mama cook a big breakfast, pancakes and bacon and sausage for the first day of school. And she was like, the rest of your days you're on your own, okay? And what I used to eat, cereal, okay? Now, y'all rich old folks, y'all highfalutin rich old folks you eat the Frosted Flake with the tiger on it and all that stuff like that. See, the cereal I had, it was like a polar bear on it. My Frosted Flakes had like a polar bear on it. And the polar bear had a spoonful of like cereal, and I guess the snow was supposed to be representing like the sugar. That was on the Frosted Flakes I had. And half the time we just had plain corn flakes, and you had to put some sugar on it. Or if your mama got fancy and got her food stamps, you can put some chocolate milk on your corn flakes. Or if you still have some strawberries, you can put them on the strawberries. Yep, that was some good cereal back then in them days. And look, don't act like I was on the one who parents had like public assistance. And what y'all know about that King vitamin cereal? What y'all know about that? What y'all know about that? Y'all don't know nothing about it. I'm gonna just keep going because y'all don't know nothing about them struggle meals. Y'all don't know about them fried bologna sandwiches on the crackers and the generic crackers and the white box that just said crackers. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about the ramen noodles in college. Y'all don't know nothing about that. How many of y'all know about that? I don't know who I'm talking to here. Yeah. And my mom used to like them honey smacks. I used to like them too. And I've said this a million times, and I'm gonna say it again. We're talking about cereal. Sugar Bear, that dude was black. He was too smooth not to be black. Either I can't get enough of that honey crisp or whatever. Golden crisp. I can't get enough of that golden crisp. It's got the crunch with punch. Yeah. They used to grab that snake and like stretch him out and be like, get your ass on over here. You know what I'm saying? I remember that, bruh. That dude was hardcore. I think he could beat up Popeye. What y'all think? Y'all think Sugar Bear could beat up Popeye? I think so. Fidelsky said King Vitamin was horrible and it was disgusting. I mean, it was better than the generic box of cornflakes. You just said cornflakes in the black and white box. So, but yeah, it wasn't too good. It wasn't too appetizing. It wasn't like those other cereals. It kind of reminded me of a generic version of Mr. T cereal. You remember that Mr. T cereal? I beautiful with my cereal. That was on the what's the name of that? Pee Wee Herman Great Adventure, Big Adventure. I'm gonna lose my nostalgia card. Pee Wee's Big Adventure, I think it's the name of it. Yeah, man, that was a weird. We need to talk about that. There was some 80s movie in the 80s. God, dog, them things was some. It was too scary for kids. What in the world? I like the producer of these movies tried the best to scare these kids. Us as the 80s kids. You remember what's the name of that? Pee Wee Big Adventure, when they were talking about Large Marge, and she was like, and they pulled her body from the burning wreck, and it looked like this, woo, and all that, I was like, what in the world? And I just sat there, and it was like, what in the world? And there was one scene in that movie had some killer clowns, and they was dipping his bike in the acid, and then you could feel the pain from Pee Wee in that one. I ain't even getting on to Labyrinth. There was a friend of mine, a Facebook friend. She said she saw Labyrinth for the first time. Do y'all remember in the movie Labyrinth? Y'all remember David Bowie's wardrobe? If you know, you know. And it was very distracting. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you ain't seen Labyrinth, that's the first thing that's gonna be like, let me turn this off. What else? I don't know. Back to school. What kind of book bags did y'all have? Or what kind of lunch boxes did y'all have? Fidelsky said, great movie. It was a Labyrinth or Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Which one are we talking about? I'm talking all over the place tonight. Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Out of those two, definitely Pee Wee would get my vote. But I know you are, but what am I? And the Pee Wee's Big Adventure also taught me something very educational. And I needed to know this about geography. And everybody still needs to know this, and the world will be a better place if we all would just recognize and know that there's no basement at the Alamo. There isn't. If we all knew that, the world would be in harmony right now. So, both are classics. Yes, they are. Both of those are classics. What's some other ones we can think about? Supposed to be for kids. Oh, Edward Scissorhands. Or anything with Tim Burton. Tim Burton was just, I'm like, what? Tim is like, are you a kids movie guy? But I used to love him. It used to be the first set of goth movies. I think so. That's why, he did the first Batman movie, and it was like, hey, Tim Burton, you could do the second Batman movie. Just do what you want to do. And then after they saw the second Batman movie, it was supposed to be for kids, and the penguin was out horny, and he bit off that dude's nose, and blood was skirting everywhere. And then Tim Burton's like, I'm finna do, when we're gonna start on the new Batman movie for Batman 3. And he was like, Tim, don't you want to do other movies? And he was like, oh, I get to him, So, no comments. Yeah. So I'm going to stay on here. Let me see. What time did I get on here? So I've been on here for about 39 minutes. I'm probably going to get on here for another. I'm trying to stay here for an hour and a half, just talking. Yeah. So back to school memories. What was your favorite kind of book bag? What cartoon character or what kind of book bag did you have? Did you have a lunchbox? Let's just go back to elementary school. Do y'all remember what cartoon character? I remember my first lunchbox had the shirt tails. What y'all know about that shirt tails? What y'all know about shirt tails? That yeah, it was a cute little cartoon. I believe it was on USA Channel, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, what else? What else? I think I had a Batman lunchbox, a Ninja Turtle one. No, because by the time Ninja Turtles came out, I was like 11, 12. I still love Ninja Turtles. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't care how old I was. And I was in high school when Power Rangers came out. And I loved the mess out of that one. Big crush I had on Aisha, Yellow Power Ranger, the second Yellow Power Rangers. Ooh, I loved it. Loved her. Loved her. You know, she's still cute. Um, let's see, what else? Trying to think. Trying to think. The football games, the school supplies. Yeah, join in at any time, guys. Um, Back to school. Oh, and they had them after school specials. I don't remember any of them. I used to watch a lot of them. You know, it was always about somebody doing drugs or something like that, and you know, staying out of gangs and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Take me a little sip of the tea. Uh, hmm So those after school specials were great. What did y'all watch after school? I remember the comedian Lavelle Crawford was talking about he threw his book back down and he watched Thundercats. I don't remember one episode. I watched it briefly. Thundercats wasn't really my thing. He-Man was. I love me some He-Man. I even watched She-Ra, just admitting. And I remember on Saturday mornings, and we could talk about this too. You know, cartoons that guys used to watch, you know, as a young lad, and we never admit that, you know, it was like female or girls. It was supposed to be cartoon for girls, but we still watched it. One of them that I used to watch, Jim and the Holograms. And I know for some of y'all, like, Bernard, you used to watch Jim. That's truly outrageous. Truly outrageous. But what was truly outrageous was the live action movie they made about Jim. That was truly outrageous. I was like, who threw that up together at the last minute? I mean, and there's not much other than going off of the main material. What else? What else? What else? Um, after school shows that we used to watch. And there was some like now that came on during the day. And when you were sick from school or sick of school, what was the game show that all of us used to watch? That's all. I'll say it together. The game show everybody used to watch when you were sick from school. And I'm trying to think of it. We had to. I'm trying not to say the name of it, so you know you had to come on down. You're the next contestant on. Everybody say it with me. The Price is Right. What was your favorite game in The Price is Right? I remember Kerplunk. And of course, there was the spin the wheel where you had to get close to $1 as you can. What was the other one? I don't know. There's a few of them, and they'd be like, show us behind this curtain. They'd be like, a new car. You know, everybody used to get excited every time I say a new car. What was another one? Oh, my favorite game show back in those days was called Pressure Luck. And y'all remember that one? It was like no whammies, no whammies. Stop at a whammy. Y'all remember that? So let's see what else we got going on. No, who's coming? Okay, I'm having the comments yet. I wonder why these comments aren't showing up here. I guess because they're on Facebook. And you have to put them here. Okay, I see why. But anyway, yeah, the price is pressure luck. I'm thinking of some other stuff. Yeah, we're talking about some of everything. I'm just checking in with you guys. Just checking in, just checking in, just checking in, just checking in. I got on a Dragon Ball Z shirt. Y'all remember Toonami when it first started off? And then it had the little android or whatever it was, and an alien, and he was inside of a spaceship. On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, Frieza fights Goku on Namek. Will he survive and go into Super Saiyan? It was really energetic. So I used to love to watch Toonami, but that was at night though. It really wasn't after school. And I remember that was the first time that I had, got a glimpse of anime. I think it had Voltron, it had Bleach, it had Dragon Ball Z. What was the other animes that they had? I want to do another podcast, guys. Venaris doesn't know anime because I still don't know some anime. You guys gotta, uh, you know, recommend me some anime. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know anything but Dragon Ball Z. You guys recommended something back in the day, but I was so busy that I never got a hold to it. I don't know what happened to that list. My daughter introduced me to My Hero Academia, One Piece, something about a devil. What the world is the name of that thing? It's about a girl and she's a vampire, and they put a thing over her mouth so she can't bite anybody, and they take her around and do all kinds of stuff. Um, what's the name of that? Y'all know the name of the anime I'm talking about? I don't know. And then, oh my God, my daughter showed me the movie. We went to the movies and saw it. Digital Circus. How many of y'all seen that show? So it's a show. If any of your children take you to see a digital circus show, you're not going to know what's going on if you haven't watched the show ahead. So it's like a movie, but it's for like the 150,000th episode or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to know what's going on unless you watch the other episodes. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see what's on the YouTube. See if there is any comments going on here on YouTube. Nope. No messages on YouTube just yet. So, if you guys are there, please let me know. The link is in the description. If you can't find the link, then let me know. If you want it, you can get me. Let me know. I'm about to mess this thing up. Let's go. How many of y'all remember that rap song? I think that's how the rap song go. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. I'm about to mess this thing up. Let's go. Yeah. So, what songs did y'all get in trouble for at school that y'all weren't supposed to be singing? I know a lot of kids got in trouble for saying that ski, 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 ski. Yeah. Back to school. Back to school. And that's usually where we meet our friends for life. It's the first day of school. You know what I'm saying? Kind of remind me of that movie. Is it The Wood? I think it's the name of it is The Wood. And it's about this new boy who comes to town. Most movies follow that criteria. A new person comes to town, and after they come to town, he meets like these other two cats that he becomes friends with, and they dare him to slap this girl on her booty, and they do that, and he gets in trouble with the girl's older brother. And is that The Wood? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, sure, yeah. No comments yet. Yeah. So, like I said, if you want to comment, let me know because I just came on here. Um, as a matter of fact, while nobody is on here, I'm going to get some nostalgic pictures. I should have some on here. Yeah, comment. I'm watching you guys. So if you guys get on here, so it says right here, 1980s. You had the boom boxes. You had the, oh my gosh, I remember that pizza. Hold on, I'm gonna have to save this with you. Hold on, let me see. Downloads, Crane Style Forever. Yeah, I'm checking comments, guys. So if you wanna, yeah, I'm gonna put this over here. Um, yep, I'm just saving pictures right now for those of you guys who are just getting on here. Yep. So where is it at? Where is it at? Yep. Hold on. It's coming up in a minute. Yep. Let me put it up here. It's taking me a while, I know. That's why I said you guys can converse or whatever. Oh yeah, that right there. That right there is what we waited for. I think it was every Friday that we would have pizza. And it would have sausage and stuff on it. And I remember there were certain individuals who proclaimed that they did not want to eat the pizza because it had pork on it. But however, I would still see these individuals eating that. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that for anybody who wanted to eat it, even though it went against their dietary restrictions. Nothing wrong whatsoever. Nothing wrong with me whatsoever. Um, let's see if I can put some other items up here. Where's the other ones? I was trying to find that picture that I had earlier. Is this it? Alrighty. No, that's not it. Anyway, guys, let me know what some back to school items that you guys remember. Let's save this picture right here. This is the one I'm talking about. All right. Yeah, it takes me a while to save it and then bring it over here. All right. So, come on, guys. Come on, thing. That's what I'm talking about. Little Tiger electronic things. Y'all remember that? See how each button configuration is different? So you have the one on the left side, which is directional pad for Sonic 3 and the Michael Jordan. Oh, I had that Michael Jordan one. I had that on NES, the Nintendo one too. But you see, for the football, the Skeet, and the Lion King, it's no longer the same directional pads. So it's a little bit different. So, and those things, that's why I said that we had to save those AA batteries. You know what I'm saying? So we could always play those things, what else do we have? You guys talk to me now. Let's see, let's go back here. I'm just looking over here, Yeah, like I said, my clocks that have people always let me know. What memories did y'all have from the 80s? Let me see. Back to school items, 90s. Like I said, guys, I apologize, but I just came on. All right, here we go. Right, take that off of there. And who else do we have on here? Now we have these items right here. Like I said, in elementary school, you used to always have the book bag, which had your favorite cartoon characters on it, or favorite design. You have the erasers that were shaped like different items and strawberries and fruits, stuff like that. Had your Trapper Keeper. That's the one on the top row, the far right. I'm sorry, the Trapper Keeper. And that's the one I can still remember opening it up. You have the crayons right there. I have no idea what that item is. Let me expand it. Let me see what the Sleeping Beauty on there. Do any of y'all know what that is? The item with the Sleeping Beauty on it. Do y'all know what that is? Then we got a Barbie book bag right there. You got the pencil toppers for the trolls. You got the lunchbox. Oh, just to let y'all know, if you guys are collecting lunchboxes from thrift stores or garage sales, the most valuable ones have the thermos in them. So always look for that. Then you got your markers. You got your different glitter. And okay, the bottom row, all the way to the right, there was a designer. It was a female name. What was the name of the designer who made a lot of that stuff in the 80s and 90s? What was her name? Mary Kay. No, Mary Kay was a brand of something or another. I don't know. Let's see what else we got on here. What is her name? I cannot find her name. She used to have folders like these. Back to school. So let me put these on here. That's the wrong one, stupid. Oh, come on now. Okay. I guess I saved the wrong thing somewhere. Yeah, it's right here. Oh, I see why I can't open it, because it's a different format. So I'm gonna stick on here for a little bit longer. Yep. Oh, and here is the young gentleman's name. Let me put his name up here. I'm trying to save his picture. It doesn't look like it's letting me save his picture. Okay. All right. Let's put him up here. So that's the gentleman I was talking about, guys, who lived in Clarksville, Mississippi. He's passed away recently. I didn't know his name. I didn't see the name on the post on Facebook. If you guys could let me know his name, my condolences goes out to his family. Everybody's talking about him, very sad situation and everything like that. So I just want to give him a shout out, shout out to his family and say my condolences. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna go through a few more of these. So let me just go through a few more. Images. So, yeah. So I guess that's about it. I do want to get at least one more nostalgic item. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still on here, guys. So let me know if you're on here, and I will let you on. All right. So let's put this item up here. What are these items? Do y'all know any of these items? So I see we're talking about back to school. We can talk to whatever you guys want to talk about, but right now we're just talking about back to school. So I see a notebook right there, like some wear and tear. Those parts that was close to the ring binder. Always, always taught first. You got your VHS cassette tape. Um, that's we're going from the front row from left to right. Okay, we got your VHS tape, which means video home. Hold on, VHS video home system or something like that. Let me know what VHS stands for. I forget. You got your 3.5 floppy disk up there, American Online, a library card. Oh no, that's the thing right there where you check out book. It'd be in the front of the book or behind the book, and you could check it out for your school books, your textbooks. Then you have some type of fuzzy pen at the end. I saw that on Clueless, and it says "freaking idiot." That's Napoleon Dynamite. I guess these are patches or buttons or something like that. Second row, a Nokia phone. My God, those things were indestructible, in freaking destructible. Okay. Um, and the battery life was forever because you didn't have all these apps and stuff like that. Okay, so I loved it. I love those phones. I need to get back to it. You know, you weren't worried about nobody taking your phone because I mean, what are they gonna take a bunch of phone numbers or something? Something they can get anyway. Then we got the Tamagotchi right there. A lot of people had that. It was too annoying. Um, I had one, and I got those from a thrift store or something like that. And I'm talking about in the early 2000s. My animal died. My digital animal died within like 2 days. It was just too annoying. It wasn't fun to me either. You had your beeper. How many of y'all remember the word flogging? A lot of y'all would be flogging, pretending like y'all had service on these things. Would you just have enough money to buy the beeper? How many of y'all remember that? So let's go to the next one. By the way, we're on the second row. Feel free to join in at any time. We're talking about back to school stuff, but you can talk about whatever. You had your Game Boy. You had your Senate stuff that everybody used to get quote unquote high about. They used to smell them things and pretend like they was high. You have your gummy snacks, your Dunkaroos. I didn't know the Dunkaroos were still being sold. I saw those at Walmart. Your fruit snacks, your Fruitopia. I have not seen that Fruitopia drink in 17 million years. You have your nail polish. You have your Trolls. You got a Super Soaker thing. Is that like a pen or something? Or is that the real Super Soaker? But yeah, that was more like a summertime thing. You know what I'm saying? You had the Icebreakers gum. They still have those. Slurpee. Yes, those were at the corner stores. Well, not actually at the corner. Well, yeah, it was two kind. It was a dog that had what was it? Because it was two kind. It was Slurpee and ice cup or something. It had a dog with a hat on it or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think of it. You got your Teen Spirit deodorant. That brings back some memories. And all these are pretty much female, I guess. You had your candy necklace, the one in the middle, the next to the last row. You had your baby bottle pop, and you had the 6 feet of bubble gum for you, not them. And then let me see. Yeah, push up pop. Yeah, those things I remember those. Had the Sprite, or as some of the people in Mississippi used to say, the Sprite. I don't know what those things are at the bottom. Those are just necklaces and wrist bracelets. There's Gushers candy. I can see those. Pixie sticks used to be our crack. You know, the comedian Sinbad was talking about that, how you used to slime pixie sticks on the corner. And then you had these sticks right here that had like a lollipop at the end of them. They look like UFOs or something. So that was the back to school list for back in those days. Yeah, do you guys recognize any of this stuff on this list? Do you have anything else you would like to add to this list? Yeah, we can talk about it. You know. And I still got time before I log off. You know, especially if y'all start logging on right now. I know this is a pop-up podcast, so it wasn't scheduled. But if you guys want to add into this list, I'll stay on for another hour. No problem. But let's talk about the things on this list. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah. So please get on here. Where is the topic for today? I'm just checking in with y'all. Yep, just checking in with y'all. I'm talking about back to school stuff once again. Let's see what else. Let's see. Before we get out of here, let me see. Gotta get a shout out to my boy Lamar Hicks, the L Dog, just like music podcast. Hey Karita, how's it going? Hello everybody. Okay. Hey, how's it going, Miss Karita? I'm glad to see you on here. I don't know if you saw the back to school list. I know you're familiar with people still with the school system. So if you want to add like items that kids nowadays are bringing back to school versus what you used to bring when you used to go back to school, you know what I'm saying? We can talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Here is my email address. For anybody who wants to contact me, wants to send me anything, wants to give me an idea about a podcast, it's Crane Style Forever, KRANESTYLE forever at gmail.com. Also check me out on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook under the same name, Crane Style Forever, KRANESTYLE forever. We also have, where is Mr. Sirs? Here it is. Marzel Paler, the Nothing Serious podcast. That's what I was actually waiting on to get on. He said he was going to do a podcast, but he has to be the greatest father ever and work on, getting his children school clothes and school supplies. That's why I'm talking about that right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about back to school items and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So he's actually doing. I need to do it a little bit later. My children start a little bit later, so I don't have to worry about that. Come back here. All right. And if you want to get on him on Instagram, the Man of Steel 1981, you can hit him up on that. Let's see. I'm trying to erase some stuff here so I can effectively. Okay. Why is all this stuff on here? But anyway, you guys, Man of Steel. Come on, thing. Here we go. That's his email address for Mr. Paler, the Nothing Serious podcast. So like I said, we have a triad going. Lamar, just like music, he does music, mostly nostalgic music. But I'm sure if you want to bring up some current music too, he's cool with that. He also is a big sports fan, so if you guys want to do a podcast with him doing sporting stuff, he'll definitely do it. So Lamar Hicks does the music. Marzell, he does the, where is Marzell? I guess I deleted it. But anyway, Nothing Serious podcast. He does the sex and relationships and stuff like that with his podcast. Mine is Crane Style Forever. I deal with mostly nostalgic stuff from the 80s and 90s. And I also do movies, TV shows, all that good stuff. Yeah, I'm just checking in with you guys. I have a series. It's called The Legend of Gomeroy. I don't know why my banner. Yeah, here it is. Let me just type it here. The Legend of Gomeroy. The animated series. Okay. So that's the name of my animated series that I've created. Legend of Gomeroy, the animated series. I'm going to play the trailer before we get on out of here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play several different trailers. Here's one of them. All right, that's that trailer. I got one more trailer I'm gonna show you. This is for the new episode that just came out, and then I got the episode 3 that's coming out. And I'm gonna show y'all part of that one too that I've gotten so far.
It's all right. You're safe now.
All right. I hope y'all enjoyed those 2 trailers for my new series, The Legend of Gomeroy, the animated series. Now, for those of you who have been with me, who have been following me since I was with Killer Crane Productions. That was my first production company. It was KILLAKRANE Productions. I have changed it from Killer Crane Productions to Crane Style Forever. That's KRANE, and it's right up here, KRANE STYLE Forever. Going this way. And I changed that because I want this one to be more family friendly. With Crane, Killer Crane, I kind of let a lot of stuff go. I'm going to be controversial as I can. There's a lot of curse words and stuff like that, talks of sex, stuff like that. I want this one. I may one day, to be honest, I may open up Killer Crane again. I may, possibly, but I just don't think so. That's if I feel like getting controversial. But right now, I'm doing Crane Style Forever. I'm doing it family friendly. Um, I'm trying to keep the curse words down. No innuendos, no sex. Talks of sex and stuff like that, especially none in the films and stuff like that. Um, yeah, just trying to keep things family friendly with this one because I don't think that we have that the essence of that anymore. Because from my opinion, and you guys can give your opinion on it too. Mostly, there's just preschool stuff, and then it goes into like stuff for teenagers, and then they have all these innuendos and talks of sex and killing and all that. I don't know. There's no in between. So I'm trying to create a medium. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that those elements won't be. It'll be totally squeaky clean. There might be some people who die in some of my films, but there's a reason for that. It's just not like just killing just for killing. Let's see. So nobody has gotten on. So I'm talking about live. Let me check the comments one more time. There are none. Okay. So I guess since nobody else is logging on, I'm going to log off. I appreciate those who have been watching. I appreciate Mr. Fidelski Milton, Miss Karita Moss. Where is Brian? Brian was on here. Brian Cheeks. I appreciate y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all for your comments. I really do appreciate y'all. If you guys have an idea for a podcast you want me to do, as I have stated before, you guys got to hit me up on. You can email me as KRANESTYLE forever@gmail.com. Also, check me out on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook under the same name, Crane Style Forever. That's KRANESTYLE Forever. Karita, you didn't come in late because, to be honest, Marzell was doing a podcast, supposed to do a podcast, and he had to quit in the last minute. Be the best father he can to get school supplies and stuff for his kids. So I just decided I had to hop on and talk because I had just set up my laptop, I had set up my lights, I had set up my microphone and everything. I was like, I just got to do something. So and I guess this could constitute for now. I'm going to do another official podcast. My goal is to I got to do one about if you're a loving father. I want to do a podcast with you. Let me know what time you're available. I want to talk about fatherhood and being a responsible father and being the greatest father that you can be. Okay? Let me know. I want to talk about fatherhood. Okay? Positive stuff. We're going to try our best not to do the blame game. So if you're a single father and say, hey, well, I'm a single father because the mother of my child. No, stop. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about the positive aspects of being a loving father. What you can do. What have you done so far? And what can you do better? Okay? And advice for anybody else who wants to be a father, a loving father. Okay? Yeah. So we're not talking about single fathers here. We're talking about if you married, got a girlfriend, have a baby by a young lady, whatever. If you're adopting, foster children, or if you just want to be a better father figure for the people who are in the neighborhoods, all that's included. So let me know if you want to talk about fatherhood. love being a father myself. So, um, let me know. Let me know. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. Like the rap song. 25 Killer Crane points. 25 Crane Style Forever points for anybody who can tell me what that song is. Anyway, I guess nobody else is logging on, so I guess I will log off. You guys have a great evening. And for those of you who are watching, who are going back to school, I hope you have a great and pleasant new school semester. I hope everything goes well for those who are starting school tomorrow. Hope everything goes well. Hope you get all the classes that you want to. I hope if you're looking for that significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, I hope you find the love of your life this semester. For those who are starting college, congratulations on your new journey. Let me know. Like I said, if you guys want to do a podcast, want me to do a podcast, let me know. I can talk about whatever you want to, but I really do want to talk about fatherhood. Um, I guess since nobody else is on here, I guess I will. Oh, well, you know. Let me see. Let me check comments one more time. Yep, I got the one on Facebook, YouTube. There's one person that's watching on YouTube. Okay. Just checking in with you guys. So if you guys would like to talk, email me at that email address, and then we can get another podcast going. This one, I want to do one on fatherhood, but I can talk about whatever you guys want to. All righty, take care, guys.